Today I have a book haul. I love books. It's something that I've really started to love so much over the past couple of years, and I really like buying books. I really do. After buying all these books, I've decided I am on a bit of a book ban, at least until Christmas. I think I can manage that. I've just got all of these books, a ridiculous amount of books on these shelves, and I just can't help myself from buying more books. I blame this mainly on Book Depository, because I found Book Depository and they are so cheap and there's so many good books, and so I can't help myself from buying loads of books. It's a struggle, it really is a struggle. But I kind of get most of my books from Book Depository or Waterstones, or a few from charity shops and stuff like that when I see ones that I've been wanting to read. I just love buying books so much. And to be fair, a lot of these books are books that I've wanted for a while and I've just kind of decided to get them. But there are some books that I just saw and was like, oh, that's pretty, get that. Oh, it's my weakness, is buying books. One of my favourite things, this is so ridiculously nerdy, is going onto Instagram and just looking at people's books that they buy. That's the level of nerd I've reached. Never thought I'd be like this. I also use Goodreads, if any of you guys use Goodreads. It's really cool. So, I'm going to show you the books that I bought. First one we have is Nutshell. I actually bought these two books yesterday from Waterstones when I was in. This one, the woman's wearing a very nice yellow dress, which isn't the only reason I bought it, but I do feel like I get attracted to yellow. I actually read the blurb of this in Waterstones like when I was up quite recently, and I thought it sounded interesting, but I never bought it, so I bought it today. It's kind of like just a classic kind of London kind of romance, but there's a twist. That's kind of what I got from it, and I kind of feel like those books are kind of my guilty pleasure books. So basically, she gets pregnant and it's not the husband's baby, it's the brother's baby. That sounds like a hoo-ha. Feel like I would enjoy that. And the other one I got is Another Little Christmas Murder, because last year I read, oh, I can't remember what it was called. It was called something like The Great Christmas Knit Off. Don't judge me. I love knitting. I love Christmas. I love books like that. And so I read it, and although it was quite appalling, the book wasn't a good book, I found it really comforting. And so I obviously like reading Christmas books at Christmas, but I thought I'll read one with a murder to make things a bit more interesting. So that's what I did, and this is a really beautiful cover as well. Next I got The Humans by Matt Haig, which I talked about in a vlog recently because I bought it when I was vlogging in Vlogtober. I read Matt Haig's other book, which is The Reasons to Be Alive, which is very different. This is fiction and his other book is non-fiction, but I feel like I'll really enjoy this. I've wanted to read it for quite a while and I saw it in a charity shop for $1.99, so I thought I might as well buy it. The blurb says, after an incident one wet Friday night where he is found walking naked through the streets of Cambridge, Professor Andrew Martin is not feeling quite himself. Food sickens him, clothes confuse him, even his loving wife and teenage son are repulsive to him. He feels lost amongst a crazy alien species and hates everyone on the planet. Everyone, that is, except Newton, and he's a dog. I remember reading a little bit about this book, and it's actually kind of based on his experience of depression. He suffers with depression and anxiety, and he feels sometimes a bit like an alien, and that food repulses him and his family don't always recognise him, and things are confusing and difficult, and so that's why I thought this would be a really interesting read. Next I got Carl R. Rogers On Becoming a Person. So this is basically a lot of Carl Rogers writing, all condensed into one book. Carl Rogers is a person-centered psychologist, and he's a very interesting man. From what I've read about him, I've been studying him a lot in class. I'm studying counselling, and it's person-centered counselling that I'm studying, so I thought this would be a very good read, and it's kind of on our reading list. We have a very optional reading list, but I thought this sounded really interesting, so I bought this one, which I think will be fab. Next I got Autumn by Ali Smith. I'm sure lots of you have seen this. Like I've said before, I feel like shortlisted books, Man Booker books, Costa Award books, all those things I do pay attention to because they do tend to be really good. But the blurb says, Daniel is a century old. Elizabeth, born in 1984, has her eye on the future. The United Kingdom is in pieces, divided by a historic, once-in-a-generation summer. Love is won, love is lost, hope is hand in hand with hopelessness. The seasons roll around as ever. I saw that she actually brought out a book called Winter, and it's kind of similar, but I thought I should read Autumn first because this has been out for a long time, and I got this in Book Depository for pretty cheap, and it's also beautiful. How lovely is that? I just think it's really, really gorgeous, so got that one. Next I got Braving the Wilderness by Brené Brown. The quest for true belonging and the courage to stand alone. Again, in class we've kind of looked at Brené Brown and different work by her. She's done a few TEDx talks, I think, and they've been really, really successful. She's just a really great woman, I think, and this sounds like a book that would maybe help with agoraphobia, which is what I suffer with. And I saw somebody else that I follow on Instagram who has agoraphobia is reading this book, and so I just really wanted to get it. And it sounds like it, hopefully it might help, actually. It might be able to, I'll give it a read and I'll let you guys know if it helps. Next we've got The Couple Next Door. As you can see, it's kind of like a thrillery type book. I'm finding it difficult to speak. So the blurb says, your neighbour told you that she doesn't want your 6-month-old daughter at the dinner party. Nothing personal, she just couldn't stand her crying. Your husband said it would be fine. After all, you only live next door, you'll have the baby monitor, and you'll take it in turns to go back every half hour. Your daughter was sleeping when you checked her last, but now as you race up the stairs into your deathly quiet house, your worst fears are realised. She's gone. You never had to call the police before, but now you're in your home and who knows what they'll find there. I've actually never really properly gone into thriller type genre books. I really like thriller films, but I find I always read before bed, and so I'm a bit nervous about reading books that are so scary before bed. But I really want to try and get into this one, the most talked about thriller of the year. God, it's got to be good. Next we have History of Wolves by Emily Fridlund. Not very good at pronouncing names. I think it's about a girl who's generally quite isolated, lives quite far away from other people, and a family move in near her, and so she starts to babysit for their son, and she starts to be led into some secrets. I don't know. I don't really know why I do book hauls because I never know what they're actually about, but this is also Man Booker Prize 2017, so I thought I'd pick it up, and it was on Book Depository, really cheap. Next I got To Kill the President by Sam Bourne. It's about a president that's been elected. It's the most explosive thriller of the year, so it's a thriller. It's not actually real, but it's also, I think, based largely on current events or things that have been happening. When was this actually written? 2016 maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, it sounds really, really good. I've read a couple of kind of Trump books that have been non-fiction, so I kind of feel like I'm in the zone of learning about this kind of thing, but also this isn't actually about Donald Trump, anything like that. It's just a book about a woman that is able to kill the president and she doesn't know whether she should or not, which I think sounds really interesting, so I'm gonna give that a read. Next we got The Wonder by Emma Donoghue. I got this because I read Room by Emma Donoghue and I really enjoyed it, and so I thought, oh, Emma Donoghue's written another book, let's give that a read. So it's about a young English nurse that arrives in an impoverished Irish village on a strange mission. 11-year-old Anna O'Donnell is said to have eaten nothing for months but appears to be thriving miraculously. Lib's job is simple: to watch the girl and uncover the truth. So basically a woman is being told to go to Ireland and to try and expose this young girl who's been said that she hasn't eaten in months and months, and she's meant to be like this miracle girl who's not eaten, but obviously people are very skeptical about it. She basically wants to expose this girl as being a fake and not being real, but when she gets there she finds out other things. ... Read the book. Next we've got Ready Player One. I bought this because every man and his dog has told me to read this book. I've seen it all over YouTube, all over my friends' readings lists. Yeah, lots of people have read this book. Enchanting Willy Wonka meets The Matrix is apparently what USA Today says about it. Imagine the world at stake, an epic struggle between good and evil, the greatest quest in history, the fate of humanity resting in your hands. Are you ready? And Waterstones always get me with that buy one get one half price deal when it's not even that good a deal, but it has a sticker on it, and so I feel like, oh, deal. And lastly I got George Orwell 1984 because I've never read it. It's actually a really sweet little edition, it's really kind of small. So yeah, classic George Orwell. This is definitely a classic book that I've never read, so I thought I'd pick it up and read it. It's kind of, I think it's kind of like dystopian about Big Brother. Somebody I was watching, and there's thought police, I believe, in what I think I've read. There's people called thought police that kind of monitor everybody's thoughts and make sure there's no like disruption or anything going on. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not good at describing books or reading blurbs apparently, so probably shouldn't do book hauls, but I thought I would. I've got quite a few books and they're all a bit different from each other. I don't really have one set genre that I like. I kind of like most of them. I don't really like action and sci-fi kind of thing, but everything else I will kind of have a go at. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books and which ones I should read first, because I'd be really interested to know, because I know a lot of you are big readers, so that would be cool. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!